What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we have a lot to actually discuss. First, we got some news coming out of the U.S. Progressive Caucus. We got some news from Dr. Anthony Fauci regarding Omicron and COVID. We got news from the Biden administration regarding student loans. I will address that in just a second. We also got some updates from Senator Joe Manchin, and we got some news from the World Health Organization as well regarding the downside of taking booster shots. So make sure you stick around for this entire video. First, let's get to what the U.S. Progressive Caucus Chairwoman Pramila Jayapal had to say today. We actually have some good news here. We have a press release. I want to show you this. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I want to specifically touch on the highlighted parts. She says, nearly a year ago, President Biden laid out a vision for America. Can you believe it? We've been discussing much of the Build Back Better Act for a good part of the year. It's almost been a year, okay? It's been what, 10 months? 10 months, something like that? It's been a long time to discuss a bill and then ultimately get down to the end and say, nope, we're not going to pass it. So I think that's interesting right there. We also know, let me get rid of that. I also know 73% of the known new COVID cases in the U.S., this was actually the other day, they're actually doubling, okay? Omicron is doubling 1.5 every 1.5 to 3 days. That's insane, right? But here's what you need to keep in mind. And I don't want to come and bash what she's saying, but what she's saying is almost old news. She released this today, but it's almost old news, and here's the reason why. According to multiple reports, Omicron is still dangerous, but it's dangerous because of the overall impact it could have, the amount of COVID cases, the amount of disruption we could see in the workforce, okay, our supply chains, in schools, and during the holiday season. That's not good. But according to many experts and according to a lot of researchers, they are saying that the Omicron variant could peak in places like New York, Seattle, Miami, Los Angeles in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So if we can get through the next 1 to 2 weeks, which is unfortunately a holiday, which means more people are going to, gather together, if we can get through this somewhat unscathed, we should be okay moving forward. So that's good news there. But what she's addressing here is saying that people are still living in poverty. The eviction moratorium has expired, and without immediate action from the administration, the student loan pause is due to end on February 1st. It actually is due to end on January 31st, and it would start on February 1st. Well, I got news on that because that's not the case any longer. But look at this. She also says, and this I am going to read because I think this is extremely important. She says, today the elected leadership of the Congressional Progressive Caucus is calling on the president and all Democrats who believe in the need to build back better for climate, care, immigrants, and those seeking economic dignity and opportunity to come together and deliver for the American people. That means a whole of government approach. That is key, whole of government. In Congress, we will continue to prioritize a legislative path for Build Back Better, focused on taking the current text of the legislation passed by the House, keeping as much of it as possible, but no less than the elements contained in the framework negotiated by the President and committed to by Senators Manchin and Sinema some months ago. So here's what I can tell you. Right now, she is pushing to get this done. She says what Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema agreed to just a few months back, that's what we need to move forward with. Because keep in mind, what Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema agreed to a few months back, those things, those priorities, those provisions ultimately changed. And they changed because guess what? Democrats and progressives really pushed for this. They kept pushing for more. Guess what? When you keep pushing for a little bit more here, a little bit more there, a little bit more there, guess what? Ultimately, the person that said, yeah, we can pass it and be like, nope, I'm not going to do it. And that's exactly what Senator Joe Manchin did. Now, she also goes on to say, in the meantime, the White House must continue to act on a parallel track by using the president's incredibly powerful tool of executive action. Now, I don't know how powerful this is going to be because as of right now, President Biden does not really want to do this. He does not really want to take up any executive action, and that's going to create a lot of other issues. So we will see what happens there. What I can tell you though is that President Biden today did extend the federal student loan payment pause until May. It's going to run through May 1st. So this actually gives an additional 3 months. I said this yesterday that there was discussions that this could essentially be extended. We didn't know how long, but we knew it could be anywhere from 3 to 6 months. The problem was if it was 6 months, what's going to happen is people would delay. People would wait because they knew they had time. So they decided on 3 months because that should at least help many people. It should also help the education department. So we'll see what happens there. Today, the FDA also authorized Pfizer's COVID treatment pill. This is the first oral antiviral drug cleared during the pandemic. Now, here's what I can tell you about this pill. This is good news that a pill is going to come out. And the reason why I say this is good news is because this pill, as long as you take it once you're from the onset of symptoms, once you take it from the very beginning, it's going to take about 3 days to really see this go into effect. Now, essentially, I think you take it's like 30 pills over 5 days or something. It's some enormous amount of pills. But you take these pills, okay, and after the 2-3 days you start feeling better. You continue to take them, and you will beat this thing. The goal is not to prevent COVID. The goal from this Pfizer treatment pill, it's actually pretty simple, is just to minimize the effects and the symptoms and to keep you out of the hospital. That's it. Just to keep you out of the hospital, because once you go to the hospital, then your chances of death or severe illness actually increases quite a bit. So that's not something people really want. Here's one thing I can tell you though. Right now, many health officials are saying the Omicron variant is less deadly. It's very mild. And in many cases, it's not much to worry about if we see sporadic cases here and there. The problem is we are potentially going to be at 100% Omicron variant or Omicron cases in the next, I believe, week or two. So here's what they are saying. According to Dr. Anthony Fauci, he says that this variant is dangerous, but it's dangerous to assume Omicron's apparent mildness means the end of the pandemic is in sight. Now, here's one thing I want to address as well. Yes, it's more mild, and a lot of experts were reporting they would much rather have 100% Omicron as opposed to even a small percentage of Delta. And the purpose behind this was the initial reports were this was going to be very mild. Okay, in the very beginnings, everyone was like, "Oh no, the sky is falling," and I said, "Just wait. If we waited maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we'd have more answers." And I was very specific when I said this, that everybody was saying that if we can just get through 2021, and when I say everybody, I mean experts, health experts, researchers, scientists, they were saying if we can get through 2021 with very little impact through deaths and hospitalizations, then we should be able to make it out the other side, and we should be able to we would be closer then to get back to our normal lives, which is great news. Dr. Anthony Fauci also had this to say today. He says, "I would hate to say a blessing in disguise. I never thought of a virus that can infect and kill people as a blessing in any way. But if you're talking about would it be preferable to have Omicron be totally pervasive and be relatively low, a relatively low degree of severity? Yes, obviously that would be preferable, but it's dangerous business to be able to rely on what you perceive as lower degree of severity." Here's what I can tell you. This is pretty much what a lot of people have been wanting to come out and say, is that Omicron, even though it's more severe because it's going to impact more people, the problem is it's better than Delta. Nobody wants to come out and say, yeah, let's all hope and pray for Omicron because that's a better deal. that's better for us. Whether you have a vaccine or not, that's the better variant. That's what we need. Because some are saying it's just going to be like a common cold. Well, everybody can deal with the common cold, but not, okay, I don't want to say everybody, but the majority of people can deal with the common cold. Not everybody can deal with a COVID infection or virus. So here's something else that I think is very interesting. According to the World Health Organization, they say that the vaccine booster programs will actually prolong COVID because according to them, they say no country can boost its way out of the pandemic. Here's the reason why they're saying that. Because what's happening is if we take a booster shot here in the US, and instead of sending those booster shots or sending those vials to, let's say, South Africa, right? Ghana, wherever, doesn't matter where we send them, okay? Send them to the UK. Wherever we send them will help boost help vaccinate their population as well. And what the World Health Organization is saying, and again, they're looking over the world, not just one specific country, like President Biden is specifically looking over, or he's supposed to be looking over the United States. Well, what the World Health Organization is saying is, let's vaccinate the entire world, because then we can kill the virus on a more of a global scale, and then we can all get back to normal. Because let's just say the United States gets its vaccines, let's say 100% get vaccinated, 100% get booster shots, and we just kill this pandemic right here. No more cases in the United States. That's great, but guess what? As people travel to Italy and Australia and go to Mexico and South Africa and Germany and Canada, guess what? They're going to come back. One of them is going to have the whatever variant we're dealing with at that time, and so then COVID is going to spread again. So what the World Health Organization is saying is, let's not waste our booster shots, or let's not waste our vaccines and provide booster shots. Let's send them off and get more people vaccinated. We'll see. I highly doubt that's going to happen because it hasn't happened so far. We've sent out some vaccines, but not as many as many countries would like to see. So what I can tell you right now is there's a lot that's going to happen over the next week or so. My guess is the COVID cases are going to go up through the roof, probably about a week to 10 days after Christmas. So I'd expect about, January 1st through the 5th, we're going to see cases just absolutely soar. Hospitalizations will probably go up as well. Deaths, my guess is they're going to kind of follow, but those could also be lagging, so just keep that in mind. But what I anticipate is just because we see COVID cases go up doesn't mean people are going to panic. It's just, okay, we got COVID cases. Let's figure out a way to deal with it. Let's live with it. Let's get back to our normal lives. That's my expectation, especially moving into this new year. So we will see, but that is what we know as of right now. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.